The U.S. state of Georgia has completed its hand recount of presidential election ballots and confirmed Joe Biden as the winner again. The state's top election official also debunked the fraud allegations made by Donald Trump's team. However, Trump's lawyers are still claiming fraud in other states.
There's not a singular voter fraud in one state. This pattern repeats itself in a number of states. Clearly illegal, clearly voter fraud, easily provable, hundreds of witnesses, maybe thousands.
Trump's attention is now shifting to Michigan, where two Republican officials are saying they were tricked by Democrats into certifying the vote results. The president has reportedly summoned top Republican lawmakers from the state to the White House to discuss further steps. But President-elect Joe Biden says Trump is fighting a losing battle.
It's going to be interesting to see who shows up. I'm confident he knows he hasn't won and is not going to be able to win, and we're going to be sworn in on January 20th. He will go down in history as being one of the most irresponsible presidents in American history.
Republican officials in Michigan have signed affidavits rescinding their decision to approve the count.
I initially voted not to certify the election, and I still believe this vote should not be certified, and the State Board of Canvassers should canvass for an additional period.
Republican canvassers William Hartman and Monica Palmer initially voted against certifying the election results in Wayne County, Michigan, where Detroit is located. They said there were irregularities. They said that the poll book, which is the official list of registered voters, did not actually match the election results. They had questions. They were not comfortable voting to certify the election results. The state of Michigan had already been called for Joe Biden. He had been ahead at that point by 150,000 votes. There was kind of a 3-hour deadlock, and then there was a Zoom call where activists and poll workers spoke to the board on a Zoom conference and raised the issue of racism.
We are going to come for your heads. You guys are not right. You are unethical.
I'm sorry for your descendants who will be so ashamed of you. I am ashamed of you. I'm not even related to you.
Shame on you. Your racist ignorance was showing.
Your racism is very apparent, and I don't know how you sleep at night. And because this is on the record, Monica, your daughter is going to look at you and discuss, because she's going to know, and this is going to affect her, because people will ask her, why is your mother a racist?
So after about 2 hours of public humiliation, the Republican officials reached a compromise with their Democratic counterparts. Now, according to them, they agreed to vote to certify these results despite their concerns in exchange for the Democrats conducting an audit afterwards to see what was going on with these irregularities. Now, the Democrats decided not to conduct an audit. They say essentially that their agreement was not upheld, and they regret certifying the votes. We now have Palmer and Hartman saying that they were misled. They have now signed affidavits saying that they rescind their decision to certify the votes in Wayne County, Michigan.
Vice Chairman gave me assurances that voting for the certification of the November election would result in a full independent audit of Detroit's unbalanced precincts. I relied on that assurance and voted to certify the election based on that assurance. Later that evening, I was sent statements that Secretary Jocelyn Benson made saying that she did not view our audit resolution to be binding. As a result of this fact, I rescind my prior vote to certify Wayne County elections.
Now, the legal mechanism by which the votes of Wayne County, Michigan could still be overturned is rather unclear. Now, the county is considered by the state of Michigan to be certified, and the decision to certify the entire state of Michigan will be carried out on Monday by a different committee. That would be the Board of State Canvassers. That committee is split evenly along party lines, Republicans and Democrats, and it's not clear whether or not these affidavits from the two Republican poll canvassers in Wayne County, Michigan will have any effect on that upcoming vote. The lawsuit that was filed by the Trump administration in the state of Michigan has been dropped. They are no longer in a legal battle with the state of Michigan. But Michigan is not the only place where there were concerns about irregularities raised by the Trump camp. They claim there is a pattern of voter fraud that favored Joe Biden and secured his victory in the election. Now, according to a recent poll, 40% of Americans believe that the recent election on November 3rd was tainted by fraud. And Donald Trump still maintains that he is the legitimate winner of the election. However, there seems to be a pretty big consensus in U.S. media that Joe Biden is the winner. The election took place on November 3rd, but yet the controversy surrounding the U.S. presidential election has not ended.
Journalist Dave Lindorf says the whole process has descended into a farce.
This is all about not winning the election. It's about stirring up the base for the election in Georgia of the runoff of 2 senators. The whole thing has become a big joke. It's just that Trump's hardcore supporters believe it, and the reason he's doing it is because he thinks that's going to boost his votes for the Senate race in Georgia. This is all a lot of noise that's going to resolve fairly soon. Detroit is 85% black, and they were willing to say, okay, well, we'll just reject the Detroit city limits, but the rest of the county will approve. The rest of the county's white. I mean, it was such a blatant racist decision they made. They can't take back their vote because once it's like, the decision was made.